Greetings, fellow readers. This is Henry Michael Brown here to tell you how Clamp influenced all of my creative works. And to begin with, Clamp is a mangaka troupe consisting of Nanase Okawa, Mokana, Tsubaki Nikoi, and Sasuke Igarashi. And basically, they are the creators of manga such as Card Captain Sakura, Magic Knight Rayearth, Jopitz, Angelic Layer, and many more. And basically, my first experience with Clamp was this show here, Card Captain Sakura. The anime was brought to our shores here in America in the late 90s, when anime started to really ramp up, and Cartoon Network was bringing in the Adult Swim, and later on Toonami, where lots of anime was starting to get dropped onto our laps. And Card Captain Sakura kind of stood out, and I was interested in seeing it. It was starting to air. It was airing on Saturday mornings on the WB network, but when I was in the looking up on the internet at that time, I found out that there was a big controversy regarding the American release of Card Captain Sakura, and it turned out that there were episodes that was cut out from the U.S. airing or edited exponentially. One of the reasons that I read was because the marketing group Nelvana was specifically targeting boys instead of girls, which is what this show was designed for. In Japan, shoujo, as opposed to shonen. So that was basically the principal target audience. But here in America, they decided to shift the target audience over to boys. So the episode started off with Shaoran being introduced a lot earlier rather than later on in the anime series. So learning about that, and given my experiences, if you've seen my previous videos regarding Sailor Moon, about syndication and how it jumped all over the place, with anime series like Voltron and Robotech, it's kind of like hit hard, because I was just watching any anime that I came across before I snagged up that PS2 and got into the DVDs, into DVD collecting. My VHS collecting was still light on the load there, but I felt pretty gypped. So I picked up the first 3 volumes on VHS of Card Captain Sakura, and I got to see it was explicitly Japanese language, which means it was uncut, unedited, and I got to see those first episodes in those VHSs. So I kind of felt cheated out with the American airing on television, with American TV, and that actually fundamentally shifted me away from watching English anime from that point, because it was like the last straw from past experiences in the 80s and 90s with anime. So just so y'all know, that's why that's what got me on to watching subtitles exclusively and not dubs. But it was my first. Well, no, that's not a lie, because Evangelion was my first subtitle experience, as well as Dual Parallel. But it was the first time I got to see Clamp in action, and I rather enjoyed the series. It was pretty fun, but it wasn't. It wasn't really what was what got me influenced my works. What really happened was when I got the DVD collection of Magic Knight Rayearth, and when I watched this series, hands down, it made me a Clamp fan. Like, if I saw anything that was Clamp, I was just scooping it up. Especially when Tokyo Pop started releasing manga in the correct direction, the correct format, reading right to left rather than American left to right. And they had Angelic Layer and Chobits on there, and I scooped those up in a heartbeat. So them, along with GTO, were my first experiences with legit manga. So this is how Clamp was really reeling me in terms of influence. But what is it that these stories influence my work, and that is the way that the characters were depicted for the most part. Um, they were they were very natural in their dialogue. They didn't. They were kind of like ordinary people caught up in extraordinary circumstances. Like in the case of Magic Knight Rayearth, Fu, Hikaru, and Umi were transported into the world, to the next world. They got isekai. We didn't call it isekai back then. I don't. At least I don't think. No, I don't remember that. Well, I'm not gonna deal with the semantics on that one. Let me not get ahead of myself. But watching how these three ordinary schoolgirls handled the entire world of Magic Knight Rayearth was remarkable. They also had giant robots that helped a bit, but what was amazing was that it was just character focused. It was very character focused, and I watched all three of them, grow throughout the whole journey. There was a point in the series where Mokana, their little traveling companion, put up the map of the world, and it traced the line across from their starting point to where their current point at, and really gave a good scale and scope of the world building, and how big the world is, and how amazing it was. The places that they've gone to, and that basically influenced the novel that I'm currently working on, that I'm fourth drafting, that I'm in the fourth draft with, which I'm hoping that I can put into trade paperback, just like The Impossible Man. But in terms of characters, yeah, hands down, it helped out, and I'm hoping that that influence is being shown here with Arcana Magi, Pure, as I re-edit and rewrite them. But that was this show basically made me a Clamp fan for life. I even and I read Chobits where it was just where they explored human, the human element, the human component within the AI. Your old Ghost in the Shell kind of thing. Um, the whole robot series from Isaac Asimov. Then Wish actually brought out a very interesting question. If you're a wealthy person, you have everything you want in life. What is your wish? So that was very fascinating to see that world go on. Of course, Angelic Layer had that nice shonen feel where they had the little, I completely forgot the name of the dolls that they use and Mitsuki used to battle and do competitions. So and expanding on the world build of Chobits. Uh, Tokyo Babylon was very fascinating watching. I believe it was Subaru pointing out his opinions of the news media and how it was depicting the situation he got in and what happened to the people. There's still more that I got to jump in on because it's a whole lot of work that they've released. So yeah, so that's pretty much the whole thing. What's basic how they influenced me, the world building, the way that they keep their rules consistent, like in the case of Holic and Hitsusen. uh, it's it's like the Force kind of thing. I know I'm simplified and everything, but the fact that they could come up with such intriguing and interesting ideas and concepts and turn it into a world build, and seeing how the characters react to those worlds, and being that they're very ordinary, is just amazing. And that's pretty much why, especially with Arcana Magi, my characters start off ordinary, and then or in some to some extent like ordinary. I mean, I know the Impossible Man. Impossible Man's got a whole different situation, but definitely with regards to Arcana Magi, and even my next novel, I'm hoping that it's very noticeable because Clamp is very fun. I really enjoy their work, and sorry, and I really enjoyed their characters. I liked them and the concepts. I guess I'm just repeating myself at this point. I think you all got the message, and gonna have a Monty Python moment where you're all gonna scream, "Get on with it!" So ultimately, the only thing I can say is if by chance, well, I know the odds of that ever happening is zero, but if by that lightning in the bottle, any member of Clamp is watching, just want to say, thank you very much for the wonderful works that you've created, and the inspiration and influence it brought to my creative works, and the characters that I was able to create, write, and even draw with Azuna Kusanagi here, um, uh, and yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimashita. Um, and I hope that for you, my fellow readers, if you're a fan of Clamps, I hope that I was able to that the influence really hooked in. Saying like, I mean, I know I gotta do my own voice and whatnot. I know I have to do my own voice, my own world build and everything. But in terms of when you're talking about being influenced and everything, I'm hoping that the influence really entertains you. The characters are interesting to you, and that you are that your interests will not wane, and you can keep on moving forward along with me in this journey of mine as I continue to release more chapters of Arcana Magi and release more novels along the way, and other creations and storytelling. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's how Clamp. That's pretty much best way I could convey how Clamp influenced a lot of my works, and I thank all of you, who have been following me. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight into my works and help enhance your readership and viewership. So, with that said, I thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night and a buenas noches.